What's going on, everyone? I am here with Stack3d, the largest, I think the largest site of your kind, right?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, his traffic is insane. This guy is, how long have you been around?
10, 11 years, I think.
Wow.
Give or take.
How old are you?
I'm 35. So.
Oh, man, still a youngster compared to me. Anyway, we're here right now. I got Shane from Stack3d in town. We're here to take your questions, but I really wanted to address this. And you know, this is something, Shane's a part of the industry, and I thought maybe it'd be good to kind of talk about it. But there's this big controversy about a Washington Post article, which is titled, let me pull it up right here, which is titled, Female Bodybuilders Describe Widespread Sexual Exploitation. So my initial reaction is there was always rumors about things going on. And I think I have more inside information about what's going on and how this story might not be everything it appears to be, that I don't think people should jump to conclusions on it, because in America, I know you're not from here. In America, we have this little thing I like to call innocent until proven guilty. So before people start pulling out of trade shows, before people start boycotting the IFBB, number one, realize all the sites in questions were shut down 7 years ago in 2015. Number two, why is it just now coming to light? And why has there not been litigation in this matter? And there might have been, maybe I missed the lawsuits, and we'll look through the article together. But before we get to that, number one, there's a huge Halloween sale dropping at around 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at tigerfitness.com. 15% off top brands, free outright bars, bunch of cool stuff. Plus, these awesome Tiger Fitness spooky shirts. They're soft, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to wear it. I just gave him a shirt because
nice.
I had an extra one. They're good. I appreciate you wearing it, man. Thank you so much. So, Shane, before we get started, can you tell us a little about Stack3d, what you do, what you're about, elevator pitch?
I think you kind of just described it. You say Stack3d. I think for years
I can't read.
For years I've told you Stacked, but you just kept saying Stack3d, so I just let it
Well,
go.
that's because of Jack 3D.
Yeah, but see, I learned this as well. Another fun fact for people. Jacked was originally spelled with an E.
No.
I talked to the guys, one of the original guys.
Jacob?
No.
Jacob's a bit busy right now.
A couple guys, and they spun off and made that brand. I can't remember the name right now. Modern Sports Nutrition. They were from, and they said to me, the first run was with an E, and they said that they changed it to a 3 shortly after. And I was like, okay, so it is meant to be like me, because for the longest time, people were like, it's Jack 3D. I was like, I actually don't know if it's meant to be.
So did you steal that from Toys R Us, or?
No, Stack was. I originally wanted an E, but the website was taken, so I went with 3 because Jack 3D was big at the time.
People ask me, where did Tiger Fitness come from? Like, do you like Tigers? Is it because Cincinnati? We're in Cincinnati company, it's Cincinnati Bagels, the Bearcats.
I don't actually know the answer.
Well, so back in 2010, Chad, he started Tiger Fitness. I came on not 2010, like 2001. I came on in 2011. Chad is sitting around, and he was working for a different company, but he wanted to start his own brand. And they were coming up with a name. And again, this 2000, and Chad's there, and he's a young man at the time, 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. And his dad, Larry, says, well, Tiger Woods is hot right now. What about Tiger Fitness? So actually, Tiger Woods is the reason why Tiger Fitness is Tiger Fitness. So there's a little known fact about our site, kind of like yours. Like, people think there's like because Chad went to University of Cincinnati. Bearcats, right? So you would think they're both cats, right? So
I would never have guessed Tiger Woods inspired.
Tiger Woods. Mm-hmm. Tiger Woods. But so stacked.com with a 3. That's why it's Stack3d, because it's easier to say the website.
Yeah.
Stacked.com, stack with a 3. It's so hard.
So I mean, it's the largest sports nutrition news website out there. So I mean, we share news from brands, pretty much product developments every day, 10 to 15 stories, new flavors, new products, new innovations, teasers, functional foods, energy drinks. Over the years, we've created a platform that companies come to us to announce new products, just because that's what our audience is there to do. They want to see the latest, and that's why they're there. So everyone wants to share stuff there. And I mean, that's kind of, it's international based. So I would say 60 to 70% of the news is American. It's the biggest market by far.
Oh yeah, a lot of people here.
But we share news from companies in Japan, Austria, Germany, Australia, all over the place. But we do make it American focused because, again, 70-80% of the news is American, or North American, and about 65% of our audience is that as well. So it's kind of, we give back and show people what they want to see.
So you're kind of like a nomad. You're kind of like a gypsy.
I believe someone told me that I was indeed a gypsy back in 2016 when I said what I was doing, because I told this a few times, but my wife wanted to go on a honeymoon to Santorini, and I said it was too much money to go to just one place, travel around the world, go to one place. And I said, how about this? How about we go stay with your auntie and uncle, and then we can just fly to France, fly to Spain, and that's what we did. And it worked out to about the same price. And then after that, we kind of liked it. So then we just never rented a house when we went back, and then just kept going from country to country. And COVID messed that up. But then this year we went back doing that. And obviously Stack3d was can be worked.
Honestly, I know you've said it to me, but so many people call it Stack3d.
The first time you asked me,
it's ingrained in my head.
First time you asked me, you said, "Well, what are people saying?" I'm like, "God damn it, I can't argue with that."
Sometimes you just got to go with the flow. Like when I owned Scivation, people called it Skyvation. I never changed that because that's just improper English.
I can see that.
I can't, because a C after an S with an I, like that's English language. Like it's not science. Do you have a science project? Do you have science class?
But
like,
to your
are you
point,
following the science?
To your point, what do people call it?
Well, right now I call it, I sold it in 2011. I don't give a shit what it's called. After the check cleared, I really didn't care at all. So anyway, so you travel around the world with your wife and your daughter, very cute little girl. And, we get the honor of, we're actually going to a high school football game tonight. He's never been to a high school football game. Ravenwood, Indy. If you guys are out there in the Williamson County area, say hi to us. We will be at Indy watching Ravenwood play Indy. I have no favorite team. Even my kids go to Ravenwood. I would like to say, I want to brag. They have never won a game in the history of their program. After training with Legacy at carbon.com. This guy wants to get to the sex scandal. The sex scandal. You guys are perverts. So Legacy at carbon.com, they won their first ever game, second game of the year. So we're really proud of them. Now that we're done talking about children, let's talk about sex scandals. God, what a horrible segue. Alexander, so there's an article. I'm going to screen share. So if I actually pull up something weird, that's my bad. So let me go to screen share here. I'm hoping it can. I'm going to actually bring up the again, I've never done this on my computer, but I will do this. Share screen. I don't even know what it's doing. No, I don't know. Anyway, let me see if I can do this here. We'll do a window. So let's go to share. That looks like it'll work, doesn't it?
I think so.
It looks like it'll work. Oh goodness. No. I need to change the system preferences. So let's just not do that. So we're going to read the article.
Yeah.
Okay. So female bodybuilders describe widespread sexual exploitation. And this is in WashingtonPost.com. So first thing I want to say is, I don't really trust the Washington Post. Like the Washington Post isn't something that I'm like, it sounds like a really legit thing that I'm going to trust. Wait, I think I can get this now.
They also use Old English font on their title.
Are you not a fan of the Old English?
No, I'm just saying it's like a very old fashioned font. I feel like it gives a nice vintage feel.
Yeah. So essentially going down, let's read the beginning. For more than 15 years, Jam Mannion, whose father Jim has been running around amateur and professional bodybuilding contests, shot the photos and operated a network of paid softcore pornography websites that at one point advertised over 30,000 images of competitors in the sport. A post review of website archives identified more than 200 female athletes in photos ranging from casual bikini shots to graphic sexual images, including those of nude women together in beds, bathtubs, and showers. One of JM site's fitness divas bluntly stated, "Your favorite athletes naked." And so I knew these sites existed.
This whole thing.
I might have belonged.
Entire thing is completely new. I only just heard about the story this morning, and like you were saying that like you knew on about the websites. I had never heard of any of this until this.
Wow, I think a lot of people haven't heard of this. So looking forward to this. Jen Gates, and I remember Jen Gates. She won the figure category at the Olympia in 2008. I've been in this industry a long time. Her manager, JM, asked her to take off her bikini top and bottom for photos. Gates refused and was surprised to recently learn from her post reporters that her swimsuit photos had been featured alongside nude female competitors in one of JM's pornography sites. I never consented to having my pictures put on a soft porn site, Gates said during an interview at her home. Less than 3 years after winning the Olympia, Gates gave up the sport in disgust and warns young women to stay away from contests. And then there's just more testimonies from Ali Garcia. Said she refused to do nude photos and had to fend off advances from judges and promoters as gently as she could to keep her career alive. She abandoned sport in 2017 when she concluded that she would never get a top win if she didn't have sex with the power brokers. So, wow, this is, I'm looking through, like, these are just stories. They attempted to contact more than 80 of the 200 athletes who appeared on JM's websites. Majority did not respond to the request for comments. 20 women agreed to speak. Of those, 9 women who had posed nude agreed to be interviewed, with 8 speaking on the condition of anonymity out of fear of retribution from the Mannion family and damage to their current careers. Several women described personal problems and vulnerabilities that made them susceptible to posing nude, financial strain, troubles at home, or feeling like they had no other option but to do this. Going through, and then again, this isn't my opinion. I'm reading the article. I would like to get to my opinion later of what I think. Because I do have opinions. As an IFBB pro, you guys realize that I'm not going to toe any lines. If I feel something, I'm going to say it. So realize whatever I say, whether it's for or against what's going on, just realize that it's my opinion and it's not been bought and paid for. I do have an IFBB pro card, very proud of it, but I'm also not going to, I'm not going to tell us the name of the sites. I'm not going to sacrifice my reputation or my word or my ethics. Former competitor Amber Littlejohn, who works as a lawyer, said the culture values compliance and punishes those who speak out. She said women in sports find themselves ripe for predation because the amount of money they invest in their dependence on the Mannion family to succeed. I actually know Amber quite well. She was actually, I believe, married or dating a good friend of mine. Epic booty pose, which we're all Shane is amazing at that big booty pose. After an amateur event in New Jersey, JM lined up the 9 top female competitors on the asphalt in front of New Jersey Marriott. Backs to him. All right, so this would be an epic booty pose. He then directs the women to stick out their butts and brace themselves with a hand on the athlete next to them. Okay, so that one shouldn't even be in this article. Like, bikini is all about the epic booty pose, to be honest with you. It's the butt. It's literally what they do. Now, bikini is a sport where one of their poses is usually you face your back towards the camera. So you arch your hips up and you show your
glutes, isn't it?
Glutes and camel toe. You show a lot of things. Like it's really a pretty exposing pose, so to speak. It's like, it's a very, very provocative pose. Going down further, this is, again, I would love to read you this article, but this would be a 2-hour.
It's a length. It's pretty in depth.
But of course, she recalled signing an agreement that promised an equal profit split, though she no longer has the document. Of course, said she never received any compensation for the images, nor is she aware they remained as advertised on the websites through 2014. Agreeing to photography stripped the joy from the sport. And I'm just looking through. In the effort to recruit women to post provocatively extended beyond the Mannions, multiple women described close associates of the family who introduced them to JM and encouraged them to do whatever he asked, saying that it would launch their careers from amateur status to professionals. Here's a trip to New Zealand. Gates said El Musawi, known as Mo, made an aggressive pass at her while the two were traveling together. She bolted from his truck to escape, she said, and shortly afterward recounted the story to her then partner, whom she was married, and a coach. The Post confirmed the account with both of them. Moving forward, this is such a beast. Yeah, it's pretty much a picture.
Is this kind of thing like, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not familiar with these kinds of things at all, but like, is it just sort of like a post about their encounters and experiences, right? It's not like like, I don't know, like a lawsuit or anything like that.
There doesn't appear to be, and this is what I want to get into later. It was not the best person on stage that was winning, she said. It was the person that was JM's favorite, or whoever was doing the most for JM, or whatever would bring in the most money. Team Bombshell. Now that was a scandal. I don't know if you heard of Team Bombshell. They actually did, I believe, and if I'm mistaken, correct me in the comments. Please don't sue me, Team Bombshell. I believe they did have a lawsuit. One of them did. I don't believe it. I don't know if it's them or not. Several of the women who posed nude described being recruited by Bombshell's Day and Rossetti. The couple have since divorced, but Day continues to run Bombshell. One woman, a former Bombshell team member who spoke on the condition of anonymity out of privacy concerns, shared emails from Day that instructed her top athletes on how to keep JM happy during photo shoots. There's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to shoot with the man who made the careers of some of the greatest IFBB pros, Day wrote in April 2009. I cannot stress enough how fortunate we are to have been chosen. The email included numbered rules for the shoot at the Mannion Studio in Pittsburgh. No full-bottom suits, Brazilian and thong bottoms only. Absolutely no complaining. If it's cold, you don't act cold. If it's hot, you don't act hot. Hungry, don't say a word. They put that in writing. That's not good. She added that no boyfriends or husbands could attend. The Bombshell team member said she attended a photo shoot in a hotel room with JM, another female competitor, and edible props, including whipped cream and chocolate. Sounds like what I just ate. Delicious. I had some of that Pump Chasers, that GAF way, the chocolate peanut butter with a little bit of extra chocolate chip. Never mind. It was delicious. A second Bombshell member who spoke on the condition of anonymity to protect her privacy recalled that she had repeatedly made it clear to both Rossetti and JM she would post topless but would never agree to full nudity. Going through, see if there's any pull quote. I kind of felt like this is the game and you've got to play along because this is the son of the head of the sport. Blacklisted. Many of the women interviewed said that saying no to the man has had its price. Ava Cowan, who we all have heard of, who competed professionally in figure categories, said JM attempted to sign her in the mid-2000s after showed early promise, but a friend who was a lawyer reviewed the contract telling Cowan should be out of her mind to sign. He will own you, the friend warned. And after she blew off JM proposed contract, Cowan said she placed poorly in a national show. Frustrated, she took to online bodybuilding forum to voice her opinions over the family's outsized influence. I posted a paragraph on how corrupt everything was, how you have to sign a contract to place well, how it's like the mafia. But the damage was done. Nothing that she soon heard her remarks get back to Mannions. Cowan said she was blacklisted for 4 years and struggled to make any.
Was she a Gaspari athlete? I think
she was huge.
I remember being her with some big brand back in the day. That just name rings a bell. I don't recall seeing her, but I know that name.
Yeah, Garcia explained to JM that she drew line-up bikini shots. She had a young son and couldn't imagine having nude photos online that somebody might find. Not long afterwards, a JM letter arrived in the mail. At this time, we have nothing in the foreseeable horizon for you in terms of paid work. We're officially terminating your bikini fitness figure compatible model with the fitness management group. So here's kind of my take on it. And so I myself have done videos in the past that have since been deleted because they were wrong about stuff like this. There's always been rumors and allegations that what we've seen in the Washington Post had been going on. And this is from someone who at the time when I first started in the industry wasn't even competing. So, and there's also been allegations that you can't place or win a pro card unless you play the game, unless you go do favors for Mannion or Weinberger or this or that. Those have always been around. Now, what we learned in 2020 is that the media is fake news. And what we also learn is that people who say disparaging things, I'm not saying these are true or false, but I'm saying that there's really, other than that letter where from Team Bombshell, which was just a coach telling his athletes to do what they can to get a sponsorship, right? Like that's huge. That's a coach. Like if you were going in for a job interview and I told you to dress a certain way, that would be something that, I do. And I'm like, I'd be like, okay, you want to wear a good suit? Or I've had people tell me if I go into meetings, hey, the buyer, and this really happened, the buyer really digs muscular dudes. Wear a V-neck. So that, that could be simple as that. As far as the actual letter. We don't know why anybody got fired. We don't know why people placed incorrectly. The bottom line is, and here's where I have to be the devil's advocate. We saw today, Fitness Informant has withdrawn his sponsorship of the Mr. Olympia because of these allegations. So it's already having a direct financial impact on the Manions. My question is, all these sites shut down in 2014, 2015. Why just now? We have the internet, we have Instagram, we have Facebook. It's kind of like the allegations against Judge Kavanaugh, which we found to be untrue. It's kind of like the allegations we're seeing now against Herschel Walker. And I do not want, look, I have a daughter and a wife. I want to protect women, but also there has to be a place where you're just like, why is it 7+ years before we hear about this? And also Nick Trigilli brought this up. There's a reason why. There's the IFBB Pro League and there's the IFBB. So Wayne D'Amelia, who I had the displeasure of working with a little bit while at Weider, he's a brilliant promoter, but he's kind of a bad dude. So what I see happening is, again, I don't trust anybody. And in this situation, I don't trust the Manions right now until these are cleared up. But also you have to give them the benefit of the doubt, because number one, it's been 7 years. Number two, we have a situation where you have a competing organization with a guy who's literally vowed to put you under, doing everything they can to take you down. And I'm not saying these women are lying, but what I'm asking is, why just now? And with social media, the ability to post, the ability to voice everything. And that's what I did. You know, I went out and I thought I was being wronged by the NPC. And I was like, dude, it's all politics. It's all this, it's all that. Let me tell you something. So my training partner out here, his name's Felix Norman. He won the North Americans as a super heavyweight, crushed everybody. He doesn't know any of those guys. He doesn't know Manion. He doesn't know Steve. He's never met these guys. He's just a guy from Minnesota who lives in Tennessee who happens to be really big. He won his pro card. Me, a guy who has literally trashed the NPC, comes back after 7 years and earns an IFBB pro card because on that given day, I looked the best on that stage. So after this all happened, there was some, and I wrote, again, I couldn't apologize enough. There was a conversation, a sit down between JM Manion and myself. Now, JM Manion is a man. He came up to me at North Americans and said that you and I need to have a conversation. And we talked about everything. And he told me, look, what you said really hurt me. He's a family man. He raised a very, very, very successful son who was a world-class college wrestler. I mean, just a G. Every time I see him at the Arnold Classic, he stood there and talked to my wife and I about girls travel soccer for 2 hours. At the end of the day, what I see is happening. The worst case scenario that we can prove is a conflict of interest. Oh. You had a guy who's artistic. Look, anybody who's met JM, the guy literally wears Batman and Superman shirts every single day. He's an artistic dude. He loves comics. He loves art. He loves his camera. This guy has a camera around, not like, oh, you get my phone real quick, right over there. So JM's not like, let me take your picture. JM's got a $5,000 camera around his neck. The guy is artistic. Artistic people are crazy. Read Kanye West. So what I think happened is JM got into photography. As a married man with children who doesn't strike me as any bit of a weirdo who's going to do anything like this, I personally think he was just doing photography, art. And I think it can be construed in many different ways. Look, the reason I lost bodybuilding shows is because the judges thought the other guy looked better than me. There was one show in particular, and again, I'm gonna look, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but I'd love to talk about it. So there was one show in particular where a guy named Rope Man, he literally told me, you won the show, but I'm not gonna let you win because you're not on my team. The problem with the NPC at the time is there were rogue promoters. John Lindsay, Ropeman. These were bad people. So what happened is once the Manions were able to find out and prove this, they got rid of them. And we spoke about that. And again, if there was really a political pull for this, the IFBB would have never given me a pro card. They would have never let me win because the stuff I said in the past was vile and I regret it. And since then, I've gotten to know JM. I've gotten to know his family. I've gotten to know Tyler. I've gotten to know Jim. And look, people have dark sides.
Yeah.
Like, dude, in high school, I know this is way hyperbole. One of my good friends later became the West Side rapist. So you never know when someone's got a weird backside, a weird side, right? I think that we should calm down. This isn't like when Arnold said, screw your freedom. This isn't the same. These are allegations of years of actions. And look, there are photographers who find it to be art. And he didn't tell them, like, he wasn't like, you need to take off your, look, at the end of the day, they made a decision. Are you going to take pictures? When I started bodybuilding, Shane, I had many photographers, because I looked a lot better back then, offer to take pictures of me. And at that time, it could have helped build a portfolio. And I said no, because I'd look at their website. No offense to gay people whatsoever. There's a lot of really gay stuff. And I didn't want gay pictures. Gay, meaning like holding a cucumber, bending over, really weird stuff. Or wearing
Suggestive.
Suggestive. I didn't want that on the internet. So at the end of the day, you control your own destiny. And the article is written in such an incriminating way, 7 years after the fact, that yes, there is a chance they are telling the truth. However, I think everybody needs to stop jumping the gun. None of us are without misunderstanding. None of us are without sin. And we make mistakes. Maybe something was misconstrued along the way. But you notice they had 200 athletes. Most of them are like, I don't want to talk about this. And the Washington Post, being the slime balls they are, who's to say that they didn't cherry pick things? What if those women who they said didn't respond actually said, that didn't happen? I just wanted my pictures out there and I really like my boobs. Why don't we hear, like, I guarantee you 120 out of 200 girls weren't like, no comment, no comment. They said something, but they only showed us the ones who had an axe to pick. Now, again, I'm not saying they lied, but I'm saying that we need some proof. Like, yeah, they said, well, right now it's hearsay. In a sport where you have a lot of people are really mad, like I think it was Ava who placed really poorly. I haven't looked at pictures, but maybe she fell off. Like fitness and figure. Look, man, I'm 42. My body, my skin ain't fallen the way it used to fall. So that's kind of that. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that. But I really think that we need to kind of slow down and not believe everything the media prints. What are your thoughts on this? I'm sorry to ramble, but
I mean, I really don't like touching on subjects like this because I'm always like,
no, you're the guy, you're the news guy.
I mean, yeah, but I'm not even like, I'm just one of those people that, like you said, like I take things at face value. So if I read that, I mean, I would believe. I mean, even the 7 years thing didn't really bother me too much.
Okay.
I was just reading in front of you because, I mean, these things could take, they might have been at this for 2 years. They might have been stringing it together. It might have been something that took a while. I don't really know. But I mean, I think that, and I guess if you add someone who didn't kind of fit with that narrative, it's not like, obviously you're not sharing the whole story, but I get it kind of like in the sense that you want to express like negative reviews, kind of like,
yeah,
you want to group them together. So I guess if they had thrown a positive one in there that said that this didn't happen, but then, yeah, I mean, I read it like just right now in front of you. And I mean, I'm inclined to believe them, but it's not like it just seemed like a really nasty kind of dealing between them. And as you said, they all closed down in 2014, 2015. So maybe he felt that it was bad as well. I don't really know. It's just,
yeah. What if he did it? Like, what if he did it? Like,
well, I mean,
do we really want to boycott the IFBB
But I
like
think it was
7 year removed.
That's what I was saying to you earlier. It was like him individually that ran these websites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I'm inclined to believe everything that they say. Obviously, like not everyone's like that.
Yeah.
But it's
because you're from New Zealand.
Yeah, man. I just go with the flow. But I guess
Americans are like, wait a second. So there's aliens?
I guess
maybe the aliens did it.
It's up to him, obviously, to come out and like either say, like, no, none of this happened, or like, I apologize, or like, I don't really know. Because
I can
with
see
just
that.
one side of the story, you're kind of left to just either say, yes, you believe this, or no, you don't. But you still need at least something from the other side to say, yeah, I closed them down. I thought they were like in bad taste, or maybe it was, like you said, a conflict of interest, because obviously he's taking these photos and then also doing.
That's the thing I see that is completely.
Because us just judging, I feel like we need another side. Just because, again, if he had come out and said, "I'm sorry," then we're both going to be like, "Okay, maybe it is true." Or if he,
I would love to hear Jam's side, but I can understand how with the news cycle, people will forget about this in 2 days.
Yeah, you'll have something else.
You know, an IFBB Pro card's still the most prestigious thing you could have. But now that I'm seeing people kind of have a backlash, I think we kind of need to step back and let things transpire a little.
Well, like I said, he hasn't had time to probably arrange a response or anything.
And I'm sure even seeing the title of this video, he's like, holy shit, not Mark again doing a video. But honestly, so I can only speak from my interactions with people. I wasn't here when he's with Ava. I didn't see the bombshell email when it was sent. I've never been asked to pose topless. If I have,
because it was specifically women, right?
Yeah, it was women. It was women. So here's the thing, though. The one thing, and I think this is probably why they shut it down, if I'm to jump to conclusions and assume things, is there is a bit of a conflict of interest when
that's what,
you're running a business with an organization that your dad runs, right?
You said you closed in 2015. Like, that's very interesting to me that they like closed it down.
Why would you close? Like, porn is still profitable.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, I'm interested. Like I said, I feel like there's a whole other side we're missing. Because again, if he comes out and he says sorry, then our opinions might be like, okay, so this is kind of true. Or if he comes out and says it's not true, but maybe some of this is, I feel like we need something, because now it's just kind of their side of the story. So you guys in the chat, let us know your thoughts. I'd love to pull up your comment like I did with Amir over here. Amir says, to use the fact it's been 7 years, the red flag against the allegation being made is laughable. Yeah. You know how hard it is to denounce people in power. You're right, Amir. You're right. And I am biased because, well, you said you know him a bit and you've met him and everything. I have never met him. So my family's interactions with the Manions has been after we squashed the fact that because I was really mad when Rope Man did what he did. He was the promoter in Georgia. He was the head promoter. What do they call in Georgia, and the chairman of Georgia. And after that experience, I lumped them all together. And then after getting to know the Manions and getting to know Weinberger, these are good people from my interaction with them. And the thing is, we can only judge people by our interaction with them. But Amir, I completely agree. Aaron, you're going to have to go back and watch this, bro. We're not going on. It's been 28 minutes. Like, we can't do this. So that's where I'm at. And again, comment, am I off base? But again, I stated in the beginning of this emphatically that I have a bias. Number one, I'm an IFBB pro. Number two is that I know the Manions and I really like them. But I think we need to also have perspective. All I've seen online is people completely taking a dump on the IFBB. When in fact, this is just the son of Manion, who's not even, and let's be honest here, this does not have any reflection on the IFBB, because the guy running it right now, yeah, you could say Jim, but is mainly Tyler. Tyler is JM's son, and Tyler is an OG. This guy was a collegiate stud wrestler, and he's done more. Like, he's the one who gave us classic physique. Here's a story I heard from JM. You want to know how they came up with the weight classes and classic physique? I'm all ears. I haven't heard this. Wrestling. Oh, really? Yeah. Tyler wrestled, and he came up with what the height and weight classes should be by talking to a bunch of wrestling coaches. I heard that from JM. So I mean, we're talking about, it's like boycotting Walmart now for something a CEO did 7 years ago.
right?
Yeah.
When you want to get those everyday low prices, you know, you want to get the dude. I bought I went to dinner with my buddy Michael, who owns Gasp, and I went and got flowers before dinner, and Walmart was the only place on the way. And it was the worst flowers. I was almost embarrassed. Like on the way to their house, 2 of the roses like fell off. So I was like, 10 roses. So on to that. Any question about that? We'll visit that in Q&A in a couple minutes. Shane, you know everything about everything in the supplement industry, even more than me, because I just know I keep myself in a bubble. I just research ingredients, by the way. I'm going to have to send you the one that we have coming out with Ambrosia for our new product. It's going to be, we found an ingredient no one uses. Also in our new machine greens and reds product we have coming out, I found a reds product no one's used yet, which I'm really excited about. So my job is I stay out of the industry because I find that when I look at other companies' stuff, it makes me become a copycat. So I like to just keep my nose down.
I can see that. Yeah.
And I like to make sure I come up with new, exciting shit. What would you say? And I don't care if who the company is.
Oh shit.
What would you say is the most exciting thing? Now, it doesn't have to be an ingredient. Okay. It can be, what's the most exciting thing you've seen in the last, let's say, a couple months?
Oh God.
There's so many exciting things. I know.
That's a heavy question.
Everybody's Googling J.M. Mannion's old sites. Can I get this on the Times? Can I get this? The Wayback Machine.
I mean, the most exciting thing for me, it's kind of been the energy drink space.
This Raise is a Arnold Palmer flavor. It's really good. We carry this at Tiger Fitness. I like this a lot. This is right up there, but the Ghost you have over there is phenomenal.
Yeah, I'd say energy drink. I mean, it's seen so many new competitors come in. I mean, and more competition equals more innovation. And I think it's fun seeing different takes, people putting nootropics in there, putting different calories. I mean, I just like the different approaches and the different competitors, and you know, the wider the competition, the more available and it's going to be to individuals, and brands might end up coming out with products just for a specific market. And I think that's always a nice thing to see.
That's good. By the way, Shane can be found at stacked.com. That's stack
with a 3.
Stack3d.com. Oh man, I got so many more questions for you, Shane. I'm sorry, but you're in my house and we have guns, so you're staying. Caffeine and protein bars exciting. No. That was done in 2004. Premier.
AST?
So
they did creatine.
So there's a bar called the Rampage Bar by the people who now make Premier Protein that you can find in Costco. So they came out with something called the Rampage Bar. When you combine glycerin, prebiotic fiber, and stimulants, you're going to be in a really bad place. You don't need, dude, here's what you do. You take a protein bar, an outright bar, right? Which I wish I had one because I'm hungry. And you wash it down with an energy drink.
I can see, like someone launched a caffeinated protein cookie, which I thought was cool, but it's, and I try and look for the good in everything, but the caffeine and a protein snack thing, I just would never see a situation where I'd want to use caffeine and protein at the same time. That to me, that's my issue with it, is I just couldn't find a use case for it, for me personally.
So we had, you know Steven at Natural Body in New York?
Yeah, I
Steve
just
Calabrese.
saw him over the weekend.
So Steve, he New York is different. So we came out with an espresso, which is phenomenal. Espresso MTS way. But he wanted caffeine in it. And I'm like, how much? He's like, under 175 be good.
That was his idea?
That was his idea. But I flavored it.
Interesting.
So anyway, long story short, people take different varying amounts of protein, right?
Yes.
We'd have people triple scooping it and
I mean, I get that, but
wigging the F out.
Because that made sense, like, because it was coffee flavored.
And New Yorkers love caffeine.
That made sense. If it's coffee flavored, I can get it. But if it's just like a chocolate chip protein cookie with caffeine, that's where I'm kind of like.
So the espresso did pretty well, but it did really well after we took the caffeine out. So not really well, but we obviously got rid of it. It didn't sell well enough to keep long term. But I have done that. But it just have to make sense. I don't think when I'm eating a protein bar, I'm thinking let me get some macronutrients in me.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking like, let me wig the F out for that. Like, again, like the only thing I'll put in the outright bar, I put Velocitol in the breakfast versions because it doubles the power of your protein. It makes sense. For me, that just doesn't make sense because when I eat an outright bar in the morning for breakfast, I have a cup of coffee with it. Like, why would I put caffeine when I can wash it down with a Raise or a Ghost or whatever? So I'm one of those where I like drinking my caffeine. Like, I don't need a candy bar for the caffeine content, right?
Yeah.
For me, that's just weird. For me, that's just not my thing. Let's see, the evolution of pre-workouts.
That is an interesting one, but I just feel like, I mean, you've been around a lot longer than I have.
Mold.
I feel like the evolution there is evolution, but it's not in the sense that we might have seen, like when you had DMAA on the scene and you had full transparency, you had full dosages. Like that was kind of leaps and forward in evolution. Right now, I think people are more refining things that we had already seen from the past 5 years. So it's a little bit of different evolution, but it's, yeah.
There's a lot of people who just look at ingredients and dose the shit out of everything. Yeah. And the problem with that is they don't look at synergies. I just explained this on a live last week, this week, actually, on Monday. So people ask me why we only have a certain amount of alpha GPC and mental joules. And I had to explain to them the cholinergic effect. Like if you fully dose all of those, you might get nauseous and vomit.
Which ingredients are these?
So
I've
you
tested
have
several.
So there's alpha. I mean, if you do the full 600 milligram dose alpha GPC, put in a good dose of huperzine, and have another cholinergic supplement, I'm worried that someone's going to just lose their lunch.
The only one that's pushed me, and I mean push in the sense that pushed in the bathroom, is citrulline malate. I think I pushed 16 grams, and that.
God,
that one sent me.
So so that's when you have synergies, right? So you can use citrulline, and you could do what 3D Pump did. They have 3 different ingredients: citrulline, glycerin, and that I can't pronounce the other one. But yeah, so
amla.
Yeah, so you need to have, you need to know how ingredients work together. And a lot of companies are like, okay, what does everybody else do? Let's take everybody else's shit and put all of it in. Next thing you know, someone's completely. Remember when Gaspari had Super Dump?
Super Pump.
So Super Pump.
I wasn't around because that was the original you referred to. Right?
So the reason, you know why
I wasn't around for then. I mean, I know why. Then I assumed the name was Super Dump.
But you know why it caused shits, right?
No.
Magnesium. So they had 2 grams of magnesium combined with stimulants. So basically, what is magnesium? Milk of magnesia. It's a laxative. You give yourself enough magnesium, you're going to crap your pants. So I used to know people who, when they had constipation, they would take Super Pump 250. This is how old I am, guys. Let's see. All brands getting involved in nootropics is very interesting. I'll just say there are no all brands. There's only mental joules from Ambrosia. You know, I think that.
Well, you're kind of one of the earliest.
I had Neurostim. So there was, when I came out with Neurostim with Scivation in 2004, the best seller on the market at that time was Choline Cocktail by Twin Lab. That's how old I am. So Neurostim was so ahead of its time. Choline, huperzine, bimpositin, DMAE, like it was such a good product. It tasted like shit because it was the 2 milligrams of bimpositin.
I've heard from bimpositin.
Horrible, but it's such a good little ingredient. But yeah, I think nootropics, the reason you're seeing this is because there's only so many categories, right? Like pre-workout, post-workout, intra-workout, protein, fat burner, maybe a GDA, multivitamin, and then what? Then there's really nothing. So it's like nootropic. I think that people just try to fill the categories.
I think they're splitting it up right now. I think the interest is coming from gaming.
Yes.
I had this discussion the other day with someone. I said that the fact that a company like G Fuel that can exist and be as incredibly popular as it is, selling just one benefit and in bulk supplement powder format, I think that's ridiculous. That's amazing that you can have that big of a company selling to gamers. And I think that's kind of where nootropics has kind of almost had a resurgence of sorts.
Yes.
You have your regular nootropic for maybe productivity, then you have one for study and gaming, and they're kind of splitting it up like you have high stim, low stim pre-workouts. I think that's kind of where we're getting much more nootropics coming out.
Going down right now, more nootropics. People love the nootropics. Now we're having some fun. Look at this. Okay, cool. So Legendary Foods just released their protein cinnamon rolls. Mark, thoughts on that? I've yet to hear about them or try them.
That's the sweet roll, the protein sweet roll. I didn't know what a sweet roll was. To me, I think it, like where I'm from, you'd call it like a cinnamon roll.
Yeah, cinnamon roll.
So Legendary Foods, their tasty pastry.
So I can't eat those.
So
because of all the sugar alcohols. And
okay.
I love them. I really like them. And if your belly can tolerate them, more power to you. I can't eat Quest bars, can't eat One bars. Damn sure can't eat those pastries. I ate one at a gym event, and I love those guys. I will support them. They're good people. Good people.
So yeah, they just did a sweet roll. I just tried it a few days ago.
How was it?
Very damn good.
Good.
It's really good.
What's the macros and the nutrition like? Is a lot of sugar alcohols?
I think it's very similar to the tasty pastry, but it's 20 grams of protein and I think somewhere around 200 calories. One of the flavors goes under, the other two go over. But I mean, for me, it's an incredibly enjoyable thing to have as an alternative to a protein bar.
Yeah. I would rather just eat more outright bars there. I have a lot of them. Honestly, no. I mean, I'll try them, but if there's a lot of sugar alcohols, I can't try it.
I think it's similar approach to the tasty pastry.
Yeah,
I don't remember off the top of my head.
It would be an amazing experience, but the experience afterwards would drive my wife.
See, I've never had those problems with those things.
Oh God,
maltitol has pushed me over a few times.
Erythritol gets me.
Yeah, no, see, I've never had a problem with that one.
Oh.
But yeah.
In general, the flavor of energy drinks, the protein powder, especially vegan, has gotten really good. I think that obviously, I think Planta is the one that kind of pushed everybody up. You know, we're still the best, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to flavor plant protein. You're flavoring dirt.
Yep.
I mean, you're basically and it mixes weird if you don't get the right mesh. You're flavoring dirt, and it's hard to do. So, you know, you just have to have someone come up and show it can be done. And I think that's we did the same thing with cookies and cream MTS way, you know,
still to this day, my favorite protein powder taste.
Oh, wow. Market. Well, we have some, so you're in the right place. Should you cycle nootropics? No, I don't know any nootropics that you need to cycle. In fact, what I've seen from the data, they work better the more you take them.
I think obviously it's specific ingredients. Like if you have something for brain health that's meant for daily use, then yeah. But if it's something like that's more energy and immediate focus,
like Adderall,
just take it when I always just take them when I feel. I
take mental jewels every morning because I always need to think. I mean, it's just my brain doesn't get the day off. Which MTS test booster is right for me? I've gotten lean and my test is lowered, but I'm looking to get it back to normal. It depends how low. I mean, so Insurgent has an ingredient called Prima V. Prima V gives you a modest increase in testosterone, which is 40% free test and total test. Oh, 20%, sorry. 20% free test and total test. That means if you're at 100, it gets you up to 120. Just give simple math, right? So the higher your test is, the more your test will be raised because it's a 20% increase. Whereas something like D-aspartic acid in studies has shown to be up to 40%, but you can only take that for about 4 weeks. And then you have to cycle off. What I tell people to do is take Insurgent. I do think it does help with anything. If anything, it helps free up testosterone, helps with free test. If you can afford it, I would take Barracuda, which is
all your stuff. Yeah. Stackable, right?
Oh yeah. So the thing about Barracuda and Insurgent can be taken year round. Barracuda should be cycled every 4 to 6 weeks. So 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off. So take Insurgent consistently, and then 4 on, 4 off of Barracuda would be my recommendation. But again, if your levels don't improve, go see a doctor and make sure that your stuff's all working.
That's an interesting one.
Would you ever create? I did have a banana cream pie. Greatest ads ever. She loves my cream pie, you know, great ads.
Someone else actually told me that they made a banana protein years ago and they discontinued it because it just wasn't popular.
It doesn't sell very well. Banana sold okay for a while, and we had a phenomenal banana cream pie. Usually when people ask me if I've had a flavor, I have. Like with Scivation, we had Substance WPI. The first 2 flavors were watermelon and grape because it was an isolate. It was a very thin protein. And then I've had cookies and cream. I've had Black Forest. And the thing about protein powers, you try new things. At the end of the day, people really like cookies and cream, chocolate and vanilla.
Yeah.
And the boutique flavors, they don't sell very well. Banana is a boutique flavor.
They're fun for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, and then it's like people get tired of it. Do you really want 5 pounds of banana protein?
I'm chocolate.
Yeah, I'm more of a cookies and cream guy. There used to be only pre-workout, and now we have pre-workout with stims, without stims, with nootropics, pre-workout for reading, workout gaming. That's subcategorization.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's great. You start out broad and then you expand into niches. The old NO Explode made me sick. A lot of times stimulants can do that.
I don't know how old is he talking?
Man, it was out in what,
'Cause-
2005?
Yeah, it's mid 2005. I remember.
Oh
That
my
was
God.
Big in the wasn't it big in the UFC? Because
Oh yeah.
I remember someone
They
saying that.
sponsored it.
Yeah.
They were a sponsor. Yeah. I honestly have never
Oh, there
tried
we
NO
go.
Explode.
There we go. I like this
I love the original Jacked with the 3.
with a 3. I mean, I like the product and I like the name, but yeah.
I'm sure Jacob likes it too, but he's in prison right now. Was that Oxylead Jack they went to jail for?
I mean, I didn't follow it too well, but I know that there was the big issue with the batch of Oxy Elite or something like that. And I know that after it was kind of announced that it was banned, it kind of things went sideways. And because I mean, back in the day, everyone had a DMA pre-workout, Muscle Tick, Cellucor, BPI.
I had Quake, and then we took it out right away once we heard that.
Oh man, you're going back a while.
Quake 10.0.
damn.
Yep.
I remember that.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Dude, I've had probably over.
That was a purple branded thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, in all the brand that was Quake was, yeah, because it was grape. I
was around for that.
And then we changed the name to Novum. I've probably had well over 1,000 SKUs total, or products, not even SKUs, in my years on this planet. Mark, do you think it's any more thing to do with Test Natural Products and Barracuda? I have no idea what this at. Can you re-ask that, Nicholas? Remember the huge bunch of BCAA and amino, and now nobody cares? Actually, Nicholas, that was me.
This is the EAA thing.
So my claim to fame was BCAA, launched in 2004 with Extend. We created the intra-workout category. So the big buzz with BCAA was there was an EAA versus BCAA kind of shit off, because Twin Lab, when they tried to make a comeback, which failed because Twin Lab sucks, they had this data that was basically not even data. It was a review paper that basically said that EAA is superior. And then, but it was a horribly written paper. And then they, Kenton, who was at core at the time, absolutely destroyed them.
Yeah.
I don't remember if you remember that.
I remember
debate.
they had like a debate on a podcast or something like
Yeah,
that.
I like EAA. I do. And I like BCAA. It's a matter of, I don't think it really matters. I think as long as you get a decent amount of leucine, isoleucine, and valine, I think you're good. A lot of the other amino acids are essential in human muscle and performance, but you get that throughout the day with your protein. If I'm going to drink one thing during training, it's going to be the branch chains, due to the fact they're metabolized so quickly during training, and also because the data of them supporting lean mass gain and fat loss. But to your point, people do care. Machine Fuel for us is our BCAA product. It actually, sales are stronger than ever. So people are still taking intra workouts.
I think it was to Twin Labs' credit. And I know that, like, obviously their product and that brand that product isn't around anymore. They did force change. I mean,
they did,
because nowadays, instead of being an amino being just 5 grams of BCAAs, you're still getting the 5 grams, but brands are just putting the other 6 in there as well. So they've kind of just, and I think it was them who kind of forced that.
But is it change, or is it window dressing?
I think it's just answering the consumer, like, because now instead of them saying which is better, brands are sort of just taking the middle road and being like, well, we'll just make an amino that gives you both.
But the problem is they're not giving enough, and we don't know how much to give. With branch chain aminos, it's pretty simple, 2 to 1 to 1.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas EAA, the only one with any data on it is the one I use.
Amino 9?
Amino 9.
Yeah.
That's the one with data. Here's the problem. Have you read the study?
I've read the study.
So the study is actually on elderly with sarcopenia.
That was like the Twin Lab thing, where it wasn't, where it was similar.
This is it's a different study. I think they might have referenced it, but this is actually the amino acid amounts that, and again, I use it, and people are like, why does that matter? Well, find me another amino with any study.
Yeah.
So Compound Solutions, which we both know and love, they did the work, and they actually, patented an ingredient which actually has data behind it. So even though the data is on elderly with sarcopenia, it's better than anything else we have. So if I'm going to use an EAA, I'm using amino 9, and I'm going to combine it with a wallop of BCAA. I want my 2 to 1 to 1. I want at least 5 grams. And if I do have essential aminos, I'm going to use amino 9. And I don't really, the dosing, I mean, you're just pretty much providing some aminos, but I do think that you still have those other aminos floating around in your system. And there's not enough data for me to say if what amount of proline,
Yeah.
or we'll give you that.
I will say that the amount of EAAs I've seen, I don't think I would have come across any that kind of have the same ratio of the other 6, except obviously amino 9.
Amino 9's good. But again, there could be other good ones. We just don't have. I don't like speaking on anything with data, without data. So love Brandon's 015 nutrition protein bars. Those are great. Any more stock? They're out and they're gone forever. The brand's gone. The bottom line is just buy 2 outright bars. It's about the same calories. It's 100 grams versus 60 grams. That's what it is. Yeah, the brand, I mean, it just didn't work out, and we wish Brandon the best, but sometimes you just have to, sometimes things just, businesses, you launch them, 94% of them fail. I don't think this business failed. I just think that it was just time to kind of move forward. So again, there's no bad blood. Brandon is still a partner in the gym I'm a partner at. So we're good. Everything's good. Like, we're still friends. It's just, we did our separate things. It's all good. Never know until you try, right?
Yeah.
So I tell my wife about anal. Is there a new whey or outright bar getting released on Black Friday? So we just launched the chocolate caramel outright bar, which he likes.
The Twix one?
Yeah, the Twix one. And we just launched the pumpkin pie. So the answer is, our goal is we know what our top 5 flavors are. We're basically consolidating down to what actually sells with a protein bar. And nobody will admit this, right? I've actually seen one other bar manufacturer admit this. It's a ticking time bomb. Every day that goes by, it loses shelf life.
Yeah.
There's not much. So while the outright bars are good up to 12 months, our returns go up if they're over 3 months old, because it's a baked good. So while it's good for 12 months, it's past stability testing for well over 12 months. That's what put 12. You could probably eat one 3 years old. It's just not going to give you the experience. So my goal is to sell the bars within 3 months. The more SKUs you have, the more inventory you have, the more slow sellers, the more things that sit, the more likely it is that you get returns, or someone buys a bar and they're like, what did you change? I'm like, nothing. It just sat on the shelf longer. We've never changed the formula. Same thing. What did you change about this flavor? The fact that we're a bigger company, and instead of selling them out within 1 month, we're selling them in 5. Protein bars suck. They're a ticking time bomb. Don't start a protein bar company. I mean, I'm just being real, man. That thing's taken more years off my goddamn life. Love watching your videos. Just want to know, does EAAs keep your test healthy? No.
I didn't really think the two were connected.
No, it's like asking if bananas make the weather nicer. It's like, it just, there's absolutely no correlation. Yeah, that's not. Yeah. So I'm not trying to make you feel dumb. It's just like, there's no. Well, no one. Well, I mean, it's going to keep you from starving.
I've never heard of any EAA kind of making any effect or claim.
So do you know about Bacopa monieri as a nootropic?
I mean, as far as I know, it's probably one of the more common ones, right up there with like alpha GPC, some sort of choline, and tyrosine. I mean, it's very common, not a lot more so now.
So Bacopa monieri, we use Bacognicize in mental joules. Bacopa monieri, I would consider it an adaptogen. An adaptogen, like rhodiola rosea, standardized from rosavins. Bacopa monieri, Bacognicize is the trademark term that we use, is actually an adaptogen that helps your body deal with external stressors. So while it's not directly a nootropic, it has nootropic effects, because let's be honest, you can't think when you're stressed the fuck out.
Yeah.
So that's why we utilize that. So yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it will help you. It will help you. I mean, it's focus, so to speak. Have you heard of, I know clomiphene. Are you talking about Clomid? That's Clomid. Clomid's they give it to chicks who are trying to get pregnant. They give it to dudes to kickstart your balls after a cycle, or if you have low test.
I'm completely out of loop on that topic.
Yeah. So clomiphene, I don't know the EN, but clomiphene is Clomid. And there's another commonly used post-cycle therapy ingredient called Novadex. And so that is used to help to kickstart your balls post-cycle, or it's prescribed to women or men with fertility issues. So I've heard of a lot of things. DMA. Okay, I don't know. There's no question. I I still love BCAs or EAs intra-workout. I drink them every day. I still believe in them just as much as I did from day one. And yeah, shotgun and synthesized work good, but it was way too sweet.
Oh man, it's going back a while. I think they still have them around, don't they?
I don't know, man. Jack's too busy with Bang and whatever's going on with that. Did you see about I don't know much, whatever transpired with, so did he bankrupted on that lawsuit, right?
I mean, he filed for bankruptcy protection last week, if I recall correctly.
And everybody's like, I like people like, Jack's going to lose it. No, he's not losing anything. Bankruptcy is it's a business, it's actually a business strategy.
Yeah, I think that was the press release that kind of went out. And then, I mean, I read a few bit about banks lending money to pay off some of the things. But yeah, I mean, I guess you won't really know until next year, maybe. I like
when people go, Trump was bankrupted 4 times. I'm like, it's financial. I've never done it. I've never bankrupted in my life. Thank God. But it's literally a financial strategy in business. Is it the right thing to do? All's fair in love and business, right? Like, I don't know. I've never done it. Mark, will you be at the Olympia? We just talked about this. So everybody else, not everybody, just one guy, my buddy Ryan, he's like, I'm not going because I can't support sexual predators. Yeah, I'll be there, but I'm not going to have a booth. I'm just going to be there supporting our athletes. Anna Chisholm, she actually qualified for the Olympia. And when she places very well, I want to be the first ugly face she sees. Because we love our athletes, whether we sponsor them or we train them or we coach them at Legacy. They're like Josh and Anna have become like family to us, and I really just want to go see it. And also, as an aside, I need to go to Vegas anyway because, as you guys know, we have a warehouse in Vegas, and I'm going to try and get back to visiting that every 4 to 6 weeks, which is tough because I also have a warehouse in Ohio, I have a warehouse in Costa Mesa, California. I have a headquarters in Utah, and I have my other headquarters in Ohio. And then I have kids, and I have a business in Tennessee. That's 5 states. And there's only 4 weeks in the month, one mark, and I'm old, so I need sleep. Shane knows this morning when he's like, because I actually had a training client. I still coach people. I coach a couple people in person. And I had an 8 o'clock. I texted him at midnight. I'm like, bro, I just got home. You're going to have to do this shit without me. But when Shane's like, how's like I could do 9:30. I'm like, how's 10? Like, I mean,
I tried at 10:30, 11 usually.
Any plans for a Europe store? No. Now, if a store carries our products, I will gladly sell to them.
I think that's what I mean for MTS. Yeah,
I would love to. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like the international market wants us. We're not like, it's not like we're getting emails from like European countries like, we want to carry, and I'm like, fuck Europe. Nah, I'll sell to anybody, dude. Like, I'll sell to Russia and the Ukraine at the same time. That's how hardcore I am. I'll be funding both sides.
I think it's pretty tough right now because with the exchange rate.
It's horrible, dude. But the good news is the dollar's worth nothing.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's very expensive for Europeans to import their stuff right now. It's tough. And I think I've spoken to a few brands there, and the competition in the UK and Europe's really picked up too. So they have quite a few competitors. I mean, a bigger variety of brands than they did previously.
So the best we could do, Nicholas, is we can ship products there from Tiger Fitness. That's all I have. That's all I can do for you. Oh, cool. This sounds like fun. We can have a good time and find our love. Yes.
It's convenient.
Hit me in the DMs, young lady. We just got a Quick Trip in town, so I could finally buy outright bars. Quick Trip is actually never expected. So Quick Trip is the largest privately owned gas station chain and convenience store chain in the United States of America, located mainly in the Midwest, like Wisconsin, Minnesota. And they're one of our top accounts. Like, they are selling thousands. I'm talking tens of thousands of outright bars a week. Damn. We're like their number 2 bar next to Cliff.
To be honest, I've never actually tried a Cliff bar, but
well, I mean,
you have the outright bar.
Well, I mean, if we ever move ahead of Cliff at any store, I'm like, well, shit, they're a multi-billion-dollar brand, and I guarantee the owner's house is slightly larger than mine.
Yeah, they just sold, didn't they?
Yeah, they sold for another $1 billion.
Yeah, it was $1 billion.
It was over $1 billion. Let's see. That was the Europe MTS store. He came back better every time too, winning. Who were we talking about? What is this concerning? Who came back better? I don't know.
With Brendan Curry, maybe?
No, I don't know. Oh,
we talked about 015.
Maybe.
That's all I can think of. But
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a tough year for him. I've done videos about this, man. I think it's gonna be Rami, Nick Walker, and then I put Derek Lunsford third. You know anything about the Olympia who's competing?
I've been following. Yeah. I mean,
What do you think's gonna happen this year?
I think it's Rammies. I mean,
No one's beating Rami, dude, unless he comes in like unless he gets like COVID and can't compete.
I mean,
Even then, I think he'd win with a mask on.
I would still like to see like where Nick gets, because he's obviously
Nick's ridiculous.
Yeah, from last year and coming up this year to even get higher would be cool to see. But I mean, it's like you say, it's anyone's guess really until the day comes, and even then, like if they show up not great on Friday, they could show up even better on Saturday. And
Phil Heath did today. They call him Mr. Saturday Night.
Yeah, so I mean, even then, it's not even the first day; it's the second day, so it's anyone's game. But I mean, if we're all thinking they're all in equally good shape, I would assume Rami takes it home.
Yeah, I think it's mainly talking about who's coming in second and third now.
Yeah,
I think Nick Walker and Derek Lunsford is just a ball of muscle, and he still has that waist. I don't think it's gonna be hard to get him. Like,
it'll be fun to watch either way.
Yeah, that's one I actually want to go as a fan. I actually do. Difference between cream of rice and oatmeal oat flour. Everyone's going crazy over cream of rice, expensive compared to oats. Is cream of rice faster digesting than oat flour? Do you want to take this or shall
I mean, realistically, like, I don't know scientifically digestion wise, but I have had both many a times. I prefer oats. I don't really feel cream of rice is too much different for me when I gym, but cream of rice, and this is just a personal thing, I can't make that for the life of me. I've messed it up more times than I care to count, so it works out even more expensive. So I always just do the oats and the protein powder.
I eat both. So here's the thing. Oatmeal has micronutrients and glucans, beta glucans, which help you with cholesterol lowering, which help you with overall health and wellness, vitamins, minerals. Cream of rice is carbs.
Yeah.
It's just carbs. There's nothing to it. It's just carbs. The thing about cream of rice, it's easy to digest and it's pretty hypoallergenic. So if I'm going to choose from a health standpoint, I'm going to choose oatmeal. If I'm going to choose from a digestibility standpoint and just being able, let's say if you're training and you want something really quick and easy, I'm going to choose cream of rice. So, like I said, like I hate to label foods good or bad, but as far as if you're looking at an overall nutrition profile, oatmeal absolutely destroys cream of rice. It just does. I can do it if you'll wear a body cam and take pics of everything. This sounds like some Mannion stuff we talked about. Sorry, I had to say the joke. Sorry, Mannion, that wasn't directed at you. This is a joke.
Yeah, from Nulu.
Yeah, we do want you, Mark, but it's cheaper to be asked my sister to bring stuff when she comes here to Spain. Hey, however you get the product, man. If you could change one thing about the Olympia, what would it be?
Ooh.
I
don't really know.
I do like interactions. I like pose downs where the athletes go out in the crowd, interact. I think the press conference last year, I think Chickarillo and Sean Ray in the last 2 years, it has been the most boring fucking. It used to be so exciting with Kai and Phil and arguing, Sean Ray, who's and Bob Chickarillo are great speakers, but they're fucking just dad jokes. It's just old. It's like watching old guys tell bad jokes. No offense. But I think there was one year when the host of the Olympia was Sinbad, the comedian. And it was fucking amazing. We need to get a comedian or a good presenter. We need to get rid of Bob Chickarillo, number one. Not because I don't like him. I actually think I speak very highly. I just think it's old. It's boring. Like nobody, hi, I'm Bob Chickarillo in his, suit with the fucking double-breasted. I don't like those. I just think I just think it's played. We need to get like a real, dude, let's be real here.
Some drama at the press conference.
Who's a huge bodybuilding fan? Shaq. Can you imagine if Shaq was the MC of the Olympia? Like, honestly, the only thing I would change is the MC. And that's not saying chick sucks. It's saying we need bodybuilding is a boring sport. Like if you're like my wife didn't even come and watch me win my pro card because it's so fucking boring. If you get an entertainer up there who could tell jokes between, like Sinbad was talking about, bodybuilders got that something in their booty and it was just hilarious. And if we can get somebody who's not fucking boring, that actually makes us entertained and laugh, I think it'll help to bring more people into the industry.
It's still a very long kind of event. It's not like it doesn't.
Quarter turns are the most boring.
You got to get through a lot of things, so it's not really. It's quite hard, I guess, to make it sort of a little more entertaining.
Your thoughts about Masters Olympia for all the big names of the past? If they compete, like, you have to realize a lot of these guys stopped competing, not because they wanted to, but because they were afraid their health was going to get worse. Yeah. So my fear is that these guys are very competitive. And, you know, I compete with HRT. So for me, it's whatever, but I'm not Mr. Olympia, right? I'm not that good. I'm okay. My fear is that when you have guys in their mid to late 40s getting on a pre-contest cycle, what was his name? There was one guy who was a Masters Olympia competitor back when it was Don Youngblood, who died from competing.
Damn.
Not like directly, not like he injected steroids and he died, but like the stress that competing puts on your heart.
The wear and tear, is it not?
So you get these really competitive guys who are not adverse to doing tons of drugs and training extremely hard. I think you're going to have an issue with a lot of people keeling over dead. Just my opinion. What do you think?
I mean, I'm not too familiar with it, but as far as I know, like I've seen, obviously it takes a toll on younger individuals as well. Like you can only push it so far. And obviously the older you get, the more fragile you are. And it just doesn't sound like a good idea.
Yeah.
To be honest.
But if the Masters Olympia comes back, count me in, bro. I got 2 more years. I got 3 more years and I could do it. Yeah, I'd be 45, I believe.
Because they had it, because that was the one that Dexter Jackson won, right?
No, Dexter won. Dexter, yeah, there was, I think the last Masters Olympia, he won it.
Yeah.
And then they got rid of it because nobody cared.
Because I remember that was one of his claims, was he's won all of the Olympia titles. And he was like the only guy that could say Masters Olympia and Olympia.
Well, I mean, Dexter competed too, was 87 years old.
Yeah.
God, and he still looks good. Still looks good. What can make bodybuilding better for people to see the Olympia from streaming? Maybe have an introduction with a video what they changed from last year. I don't think anybody really cares about that.
I don't know if you want to make it longer.
No, the Olympia is already, like, as someone who's been there with a good friend in the Olympia, like the one year, 2020, when we went there with Brandon and we went to Disney afterwards with the Currys, like Brandon, my good friend, was on stage and I'm sitting there thinking, fuck, I'm bored. Like, I was like, God, will they hurry up and just announce him as the goddamn winner or loser or something? Honestly, even as a bodybuilder, it's just really boring. It's really boring. So I think having an entertaining MC, a comedian.
Yeah.
What if they had, imagine Kevin Hart. I know they couldn't afford him, but Kevin Hart. Imagine, there's a lot of guys. Shit, I mean, he's always there. What about The Rock?
Mark Wahlberg's another one that's there often.
Mark Wahlberg, Mark Lobliner, any of us. I'd be an amazing MC. I'd be clowning everybody. I'm just playing. Yeah, I think that I don't think it's about training or posing. Really, that's all they do. Like, that's literally their lives. I think having somebody to actually entertain the crowd. Yeah. Think about it like a cruise ship. You got a bunch of people stuck in a room waiting to see who won. Let's get somebody who's entertaining. Obviously, drag queens. We need drag queens. All the drag queens. I do agree, Mark, there needs to be some form of entertainment. That's why at the Oscars, they have comedians. Thank you, Carlos. Carlos in the house. Carlos, I think that is one of the greatest comparisons I've ever seen. Like, at the Oscars, they're like, hey, this bitch is actress of the year. Hey, it's like, no, it's like they have someone in there literally telling jokes. Remember at the ESPYs that one year, Manning just fucking blasted everybody. Peyton Manning. And the other year they had Justin Timberlake, who, by the way, lives right down the street from me, believe it or not. He trains at my Lifetime. So Justin Timberlake did a whole rap montage. Shit. We need a rap montage.
I mean, you'll find out, because you might do it one year and it might just bomb like crazy.
Sinbad I still talk about Sinbad. Maybe I'm just a weirdo. What's up, Mark and Shane in the chat? What's up, Simply Deep? Simply Deep. Why do you get that name? I want to know why his name is Simply Deep.
I think that can't be the same Simply Deep.
Simply Deep?
There was someone on a channel, on a podcast, that had commented with the name Simply Deep. That's a pretty big coincidence, but kudos on the name.
So have you ever done 1 hour sauna? So I can do infrared, which goes up to 150 for, I can sit in there all day. Now, if you go to Lifetime or Equinox, the sauna's up to like 180 to 190. Equinox goes up to 195, the one I go to in Costa Mesa, Irvine. No. So I did do 40 minutes in a Lifetime sauna once, and it was when I had to drop water for when I won the Knox. Had to get down to light heavy. And I was dizzy for about an hour afterwards. So it wasn't fun. So if you're going to do an hour, what I recommend is there's a protocol that they use for MMA and boxers where I believe it's 10 minutes on, 2 minutes off. So you do 10 minutes in, 2 minutes out, 10 minutes in, 2 minutes out. But an hour straight, man, you might come out looking like a fucking prune.
I can't do a sauna, not even for a minute.
Well, I
find them incredibly uncomfortable, but
I guess you're not doing that tomorrow with me at Lifetime.
No.
Best body part competitions.
Wasn't that what they did back in the day with the Ronnie the Showdown thing, and they could like pick the pose?
So yeah, I love that, the challenge round.
Yeah, challenge round. That's
challenge round. So Ronnie would be a lights out, back double lat spread, and I'm like, oh, so you literally, let's say Shane and I are competing, and they're like, okay, Mark, Shane, and then I get to challenge him. Yeah. I'm like, I challenge you to a front double by. You know, it was actually pretty cool. Again, that's a very good idea in my opinion. I call myself that because I'm deep with my questions. You should have just said you had a big penis. I would have lied. I'd be like, it's because my penis. Any thoughts about a documentary about your fitness journey and your thoughts about the direction that bodybuilding and fitness and as a brand is going to be? Well, I basically do that every day on this very channel on Tiger Fitness. I do it. And the thing is with these Q&As, if you guys have a question about that, that's great. I just don't think it's cool. I don't want to spend my own money to do a documentary about myself. So if Netflix or Generation Iron came to me, hey, Mark, I want to talk about your childhood and what you think about what's going on, I'd be like, that sounds great. But like, I'm not going to be like, okay, let me get a camera crew.
You're not going to direct your own way.
No, that's kind of weird, isn't it? I mean, it's like when you give yourself your own nickname.
Depends if you tell people that you organized it.
I would totally lie. I'd be like, no, this is I'd make up a production company and like put somebody in charge. Let's see. Yeah, the penis. Are you dressing up for Halloween? I have this Tiger Fitness shirt, which is available. It's available tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tiger Fitness, we launched the Halloween sale. 15% off our top brands, free outright bar, free shirt, some other stuff. No coupon necessary. It's automatically deduced in the cart. Anyway, it's been a long time. Appreciate you guys watching. For those of you who are just catching on, thank you so much. Where can they find you, Shane? I'll post it down below.
Stack.com.
Stacked with a 3.
Stack3d.com.
I think that's why people say 3D, because it's like stack with a 3. You know, it's like,
I don't know, because even if I tell people to say stack, they say Stack3d.
Like me.
Yeah.
But I'm Polish. We're not very smart.
Good. It's all good. I think our second, third most searched term is like stacked 3D. So like stacked the word and then the number 3 and then the letter.
No.
That's one of our biggest searches.
Because on Shopify, on Tiger Fitness, you can actually look at like where people fucked up on search terms.
Yeah, same with us.
Yeah. So I think that's great. But go ahead and follow him. He's also on Instagram, Facebook, Tinder, Pornhub, all the main things, Grindr, because we don't discriminate here.
Everybody.
And so be sure again, follow like this video, like it. Yep. Subscribe to this channel. Always mess up. Click on notification bell. Comment. And comment down below. All right, guys.